To our Friday edition of Summit Sunrise with TVA Summit. Glad to have you here. Joining me in the studio now is Henry Barr. And good morning to you. How are you doing, sir?
Good,
today?
real
Great,
good.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure you've been keeping pretty busy.
It's been extremely busy the last couple of weeks, and keeping our fingers crossed that it's both seasonal and something foreboding that we're seeing in our marketplace. It's definitely seasonal. This is the time we would normally see it, but it's been I'd say a little bit better than expected, at least for me. I'm pretty pleased with it.
So just so you know, Henry Barr is selling real estate in the county. He's been doing it for 35 years, quite a while. And you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on then in terms of the market in the county, and knowing that what the conditions are now are not going to be the same for very long.
Yeah, I'd like to think after 35 years, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And right now, we're definitely coming out of the ugly, and but we're rounding the curve. And I'm really here this morning, tried to figure what to talk about, and theme that keeps coming back to us is the signals are all there for the buyers, and this is probably going to be the last great 3 to 6 month period for buyers. I just can't overemphasize that. For the people that have been watching the market and wanting to know when, the three great witching hours are happening. You've got inventory, you've got price, and you've got interest rates. And
so as we move into the winter season, we got fall. I mean, it's a great time to get outside, enjoy the colors and all that good stuff. And the properties then just look kind of just that much better, I think, in the county. But so aside from the aesthetics, though, of the properties, like, what can we expect for the market then by the winter season?
I think, not being, other than the local experience here, but if you read the national press, if you read the Denver press, those markets are starting to go up. Almost across all segments, they're going up. They're not going up dramatically. We're not going to see prices go through the roof or anything, but almost every place is talking about prices going up. And it's starting, or the inventory is lessening. The first two things that will happen is interest rates will start ticking up. They already have. They hit a low about 3 weeks ago, and they started to tick up. Nothing dramatic, but they're ticking up. And I don't see anything to tell us they're going to go back down.
Right.
And inventory is getting less and less. There are some definite holes in the marketplace where if you come to me and say, I want X, I don't have X, or I may have one of X, where a year ago I had 10 of X.
Right.
So, we are seeing those holes in inventory. It's not widespread. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the market is short of inventory all over. Man, there's nothing to buy. There's still plenty to buy. But if you're looking for a specific property, there may be you may be in that little niche of a shortage. Homes in a certain price range, 2 bedrooms with 2-car garages, condominiums. They're in a certain price range. Those are in shortage. If you want brand new construction, that's a real shortage.
Right.
There hasn't been, as most of us around watch, there hasn't been much new construction. Right. Somebody wants something built in the last 3 to 5 years, that's a shortage.
You're hard-pressed to find, absolutely.
So these are the kind of signals that are telling us on all fronts that, this is a critical time and we're starting to see change. These are the first things we see in change. Last thing we'll see in change is prices going up. But the first things are already happening, so I just can't overemphasize for a buyer. I know you want to wait till after the election. I'm not going to get into a political situation right here, but I think after the election, things will really start to move either way, because people will then know what's out there, and they're waiting now. And now is the time for the buyer to get in on this indecision of not quite what's happening in the market.
Some really excellent points that you're making, and it's just facing reality that it's not going to stay this way.
No.
But with that in mind, let's talk about a couple of the properties that you have featured today. We've talked about a couple of these in weeks past, but there's some very unique properties with some fantastic views and lots of space as well. So talking about they're all homes, single-family homes. One's in Willow Creek Highlands and has dropped around $500,000 though since
dropped about
the last
30%.
4 years or so.
Yeah, it was up in around the $1.5 million range, and it's now under $1 million. The quality of construction is exceptional. Built by a local builder here, a longtime local, great reputation. The miter joints, the corners, the ceiling inlay, all of those, and the kitchen is absolutely custom. You have 2 granite islands.
Oh, that's amazing.
You have all cork floors. And you don't find this kind of quality nor this type of kitchen and layout in normally homes under $1.5 million. You usually find them $1.5 million and over. So this is a situation. The sellers say, you know, they want to sell the house. They've dropped it this year alone almost $250,000. They want out. It's time. They would like to move on.
And you see some of the great views there and a great location.
That's a different one. And that's one of my absolute favorites. That one is a little bit down valley. It's right above Heaney, about 20-25 minutes from exactly where we sit. It has the best views in Summit County.
And this just isn't just a home, I should say. It's on a huge
314 acres.
Spot of land,
Can be subdivided by the county zoning as it exists into at least 835 parcels. It could be possibly rezoned into more than that with going through the county subdivision process. It's probably best use is 4 or 5 family estates up there.
Right.
Tremendous amount of wildlife on the hunting. It is just, the elk are all over. It overlooks Lower Cataract. It looks directly eyeball to eyeball to Cataract Falls and also to Green Mountain Reservoir and to Elliott Ridge. It is the nicest site I've seen.
It is amazing, and it has also dropped in price.
It was over about 3.3 about 4 years ago. Seller says sell. We're at 1.7 right now. Again, one of those 50% buys. I dare you to find too many in the marketplace right now that are 50% buys.
And then we're running out of time, but real quickly.
The last one's a 50% buy. It's one of the others. It's in Frisco. It's local. It sits above Byron Park. It sits above the pond at Byron Park and actually owns part of that pond at Byron Park. It is an exceptional house with a location in Frisco, the premium location of what people want in Frisco. You look at the river, you look at the pond, you look at the park, and you look at the mountains at the same time. And you're in Frisco. You're right in Frisco.
That's right.
And it was 2.5, and it's currently at 1.249.
Okay.
So
some great deals are still out there, some excellent buys. Perfect to be in the county, and if you're even considering the idea of looking at some real estate, well, contact Henry Barr, and you can see his information at the bottom of the screen there, phone number as well as email address. And real quick, your website is?
henryebarr.com.
That's
Doesn't
it.
get any easier.
Henry, thanks so much again for coming in this morning, and buy now. That's what the word is. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with more Summit Sunrise after this.